Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them now. Man, we got an episode for you guys here today, so put on your seatbelts for this one. But before we get into it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, it's safe to say that the Los Angeles Lakers are quickly turning into the biggest punchline in the. They're like the butt of the joke right now in NBA circles, right? Everybody is snapping on the Lakers, making fun of them, you know, bringing up low light, all type of crazy stuff, right? Everyone's piling on. And it seems like one Jalen Rose, who I, by the way, do enjoy listening to his basketball takes. Some people don't disagree with me. Some people don't think Jalen Rose is that good. I actually think he's good, and he gives some really insightful takes, right? But the Jalen and Jacoby show, right? I think it was yesterday. They were talking about the Lakers after they went down 0-3. Now, if you saw that game against the Portland Trail Blazers, if your memory will serve you right, you'll remember that there were two instances when, the Portland Trail Blazers center, Jurkic, I can't remember his name. I hope I pronounced his name properly. There was a point in the game when Anthony Davis had a corner three, right? And he was supposed to go out and close out on him so he doesn't attempt a three, or at least contest a three. And basically what he did was he did like a 360. He looked at him, rubbed his head, and turned around and watched Anthony Davis hit the shot off the backboard, right? And everybody was talking about that. And of course, it was a LeBron shot, right? Or the Russell Westbrook shot that he just backed up off him. He said, all right, shoot the ball. So while I was listening to Jalen Rose and Jacoby talk about it, Jalen Rose just went into like a full-on roast. And he started roasting the Lakers and the Lakers players. So for those of you who didn't hear what Jalen Rose had to say, what we want to do is we want to play it for you right now, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to what Jalen Rose had to say here.
What do you think about that shot and Russell Westbrook as a whole in this Laker team?
Like this, I wish raindrops would fall. That's how I feel. That's what LeBron was singing as he was walking back towards the huddle. And Jacoby, it's not just that the Lakers are 0-3. It's the ineptitude offensively and their inability in particular to A, make shots from three-point range, but also B, and you're not going to necessarily like this next point, it shows how their best players' numbers don't lead to winning. See, what happens in the league, Jacoby, when you start to get a little bit older, those stats may look, what did Anthony Davis have? 20 and 10. LeBron, I believe, had 31, 8 and 8, right? But when you start to get a little older, this is why I don't love stats. Those ring hollow because they can't necessarily lead you for the 48 minutes. See, when you're younger and the Joker and Ja and Luka are getting those stats, they lead to winning. And so what's going to happen with the Lakers now, yeah, we're going to show their bad shots, and we're going to show these shots again because I want to make sure we take the time and breathe easy on this. Go back to the Russ play for a second. Now, you're a future Hall of Famer. You're a former MVP. You know that you're struggling to shoot the ball. And you know who I blame? I blame Nurkic. Look at the big fella. He with us.
He did this a few times in the game.
He with us. He with us.
Look at LeBron in the corner. LeBron's like, dog, what are you doing?
To say? He with us. He was, hey, let me tell you something. The legendary Perry Watson once said in a huddle to one of the players that was complaining at Detroit Southwestern about being open and not getting the ball. And Perry Watson looked at that young man and he said, I love you, but I want to teach you something. You are open for a reason.
And look at Russ on these clips. Like, they're leaving him wide open.
You are open, young man, for a reason. And also, AD's shot, let's not ignore his off the backboard. And let's not ignore LeBron's shot that he shot from downtown LA and it landed before it even got to the arena. Like, that was like 5 feet short. Look at Nurkic. He with us. He didn't even guard AD.
He held the gooseneck.
He with us. He held it up like it was actually going in. It hit the side of the backboard, fam. You know how I feel about air balls.
Yeah, watch this one.
But look at this one, man.
There's levels to air balls. There's levels to air balls. Like, he wasn't even close to close.
Well, hold on. But you can't be shooting. You can't be playing against Dame, shooting from the logo and coming up 5 feet short when he's torching y'all for 40. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man. The Lakers, they lost to 2 really good teams, and then they lost to Dame time. So far being 0-3. They'll be a play-in caliber team, Jacoby.
So you heard what he had to say. He was like, he's with us. He's with us. It's pretty funny, right? It's pretty funny. But he brings up an important point that I really want to get to here in this particular show here, which is this. The fact that these guys seem to be putting up stats that have zero impact on winning. This goes back to a heated argument that Nick Wright and Rick Bucher had last season on First Things First. If you remember, Rick Bucher came out there and said that he doesn't believe LeBron is a top 10 player anymore because he is not able to impact the game and generate wins. His numbers don't impact winning. That was the argument. And Nick Wright was looking at the raw numbers, points, rebounds, assists, and saying, how can you say that this guy is not a top 10 player when he's giving you 30 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, whatever the numbers were, right? And Rick Bucher was saying, no, Nick, those numbers are very misleading because those numbers are not leading to wins. And it's the same point that Jalen Rose just brought up here in this particular audio. He is saying that what you're seeing is as certain players get older, they're not able to have an impact on the game. So we then got to sit down and really analyze this thing. Because I got to think about, I'm like, well, wait a minute. How is this true? How is this possible? How is it that these guys are able to put up these type of numbers, but it doesn't really impact winning? It's a very deep thought experiment if you think about it. And to me, I think that one of the ways that this can be true is that, number one, it's not about how much you score. Also, when you score is very important in the game, right? You can score 30 points in a half and go, 0 in the second half. And when your team most needs you down the stretch, you're missing shots, but you still had 30 points. You didn't have an impact on winning, right? That's one thing. But let's think about this for a second. If we try to make sense out of what Jalen Rose is saying, it would mean that it's not just about the points you're scoring, but it's also about when are you scoring these points? Are you scoring them in moments when they matter? Also, what about your defense, right? What about your defense? Because defense a lot of times doesn't get registered in the box, in the stat sheets. You don't see it there. Getting stops, you may have advanced analytics and all of that, but those things don't really account for that. So to me, it's mind-boggling that you see players putting up great numbers, but nevertheless, they really can't impact winning. And to me, it makes me think, well, is it that the players don't have enough help? Is the roster not good enough? Are they not playing enough defense? I don't really know what it is, to be quite honest with you. I really can't explain it because we can't solely say that it's defense, because if that's the case, look at Luka Doncic. Luka impacts the game in a major way. He can assist the ball and all of that, but Luka's not known for playing defense. In a way, LeBron and Luka's numbers are quite similar, although Luka seems to score in a different way. He hits a lot of shots that really takes the air out of his opponents. So to me, Jalen Rose makes a good point. The results certainly prove what he is saying is true. What I'm trying to say is I'm trying to understand why it is true. And I'm not really sure. It's something that I really haven't sat down and thought about on a very deep level. So for those of you watching this video, maybe we can, work on this idea here, work on this problem here together, because I really got to sit down and think about it, because he's laughing about it, but it's true. And when he says that when players start to decline, their numbers start having less and less an impact on winning. And that's what we're seeing. And essentially, that's the argument that Rick Bucher was making. So it's not enough to just look at the stats, the bare stats. We got to look at how are these stats contributing to winning? And it's not as easy as you would think. So what I want to know from you guys is, what do you think about what Jalen Rose had to say? What do you think about what I had to say? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next episode.